On April 20th, 1998, Reading Phillies first baseman Steve Carver had himself quite a night, lighting up the Harrisburg Senators in a 5-hit performance that was one for the record books.
Arguably the greatest offensive day in Reading Phillies history. You're talking 13 total bases, 2 doubles, 2 home runs.
By the 4th inning, Reading's up 9-2, mostly thanks to Steve Carver, who on this day has a single, 2 doubles, 2 homers.
Carver's prowess at the plate that night had an even bigger impact because he did his damage with runners on base. By game's end, he had 8 RBIs, which had the team's PR department digging through the archives for its historical significance.
It reminds me of how technology has changed, because as I was listening to the game on the radio, Steve Degler, we didn't have cell phones at the time, we didn't have email. Steve Degler actually put a call out on the broadcast if I was around, if there's any way I can go look up where this might fall. And I remember driving into the stadium and calling Deggs and then calling the press box phone in Harrisburg and trying to get a message to him. And I remember the person that answered the phone wasn't getting the message through. Then I asked for Andy Linker to go help and get the message to Steve. So I remember driving in here that night to go through some old books and look some stuff up and then call Harrisburg's press box, for Deggs, where now if something like that would happen, you'd probably either have that information in your hand or you'd accomplish that via text message.
The 8 ribbies were indeed the most in our Phil's history. Unfortunately, the game didn't exactly have a storybook ending for Reading, as Harrisburg rallied from a 7-run deficit to win it 11-10.
The only problem is, of course, as things happen early on in the Reading-Harrisburg series, things didn't turn out well for Reading. Toby Borland gives up 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th, and all of a sudden it's 11-10 Harrisburg. And Steve Carver, in a lot of ways, at least in Harrisburg, in my story, goes from being the big headliner to being oh, by the way, Steve Carver had 8 RBIs because there was this great Senators rally.
It's one of those nights where the ball seemed like a beach ball to Carver coming in. He was a really good hitter who could use all fields and tremendous power. Great game for him. Unfortunately, as was the case a lot back then, Harrisburg somehow found a way to come back and win the game.
It was a great night. It was one of the best nights of any player to ever be in a losing effort, unfortunately, for them against Harrisburg.
Steve Carver's career day, another of Reading's many golden moments.